They were crucial characters on HBO's award-winning Game of Thrones. But these mythical dragons didn't come from eggs. Rather, they were hatched here.
We want more scales on his chest.
By Dan Ketcher, the one who's breathing life into creatures that breathe fire.
I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I thought it was just going to be a fun little fantasy show that was going to wind up being, no big deal.
Needless to say, the series became a very big deal, giving Ketcher years of work as the show's dragon designer, building beasts like Drogon.
How hard is it to make one of these dragons?
Incredibly. For me, they're real living creatures. They have bones, they have muscles, they have skins, they move, they breathe. And they do this because all of that is built into the creatures themselves.
It's not enough to be a great artist.
Sculpting it out.
Using a digital sculpting program called ZBrush, Ketcher first shapes the dragon's skeleton, then adds muscles.
A muscle always goes between two bones.
Which means having a strong understanding of anatomy and physiology. He says the wings were inspired by bats, the scales influenced by animals like the sun gazer lizard, while the face has traces of eagle, goat, even Tyrannosaurus rex.
And of course, all these things are taken from other creatures, but then changed so you don't recognize them anymore. If you want to talk about what it means for me to have a successful piece, it means when you look at my thing, you say, that's really cool. If you say, oh, that looks just like X, Y, or Z, then I failed.
For Ketcher, it's a fascination that was sparked when he was young.
Oh, yeah, and then I did these were fun.
His early sketches show his love for such creatures.
Oh, yeah, there's an early dragon for you.
As an adult, he became a toy sculptor, first molding his creations out of clay and wax.
This is probably, I would say, the basis for Drogon. I can gauge my ratios.
Before learning to sculpt on a computer, what he calls clay on steroids.
How much time do you spend on scales?
Weeks.
It took Ketcher many weeks, months even, to sculpt the dragons before his designs were passed on to animators and other specialists who brought it all to life on screen.
Are you proud when you see it?
When Drogon flies in and burns down King's Landing, that was everything I ever wanted. That was finally like, yes! Burn it! I love it. Love it.
Childhood you saw what you were doing now. What would childhood you say?
Childhood me would want to get my autograph. Childhood me would be my biggest fan.
Can't ask for more than that, right?
I get to live in Zen. I get to make monsters all day. My 8 hours a day is joy.
So back when Ketcher started, the dragons were small and only took about 4 weeks to sculpt, but by the final season, when they were giant, it took 3 months. Now with Game of Thrones over, he's designing monsters and creatures for DC Comics TV shows, including Titans, Supergirl, and The Flash.
Wow. That was so interesting. You know you're doing something when your childhood self would want your autograph.
Right, there you go.